Hi guys, welcome to the Millennium Movie Fan Channel. My name's Tyler. Today's review is going to be for the newest episode of Mandalorian, The Believer. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you give me a thumbs up down below, hit the like button, and also share this video around all your friends and family on Facebook, Twitter, and all the different social medias. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell. That way you get alerts to when I post a new video. In this episode, the crew recruits Mayfield, Bill Burr's character, to help them retrieve Baby Yoda and get the location of Moff Gideon because he's a former Imperial agent and would have access to certain files and stuff at a Imperial base, and he would know kind of where to get that information. Cara Dune, as a New Republic marshal, pulls some strings to get him. Mayfield points the gang to a planet that has an Imperial base that would have the information on the whereabouts of Moff Gideon and his ship. And once they're there, they don't trust Mayfield to go in there alone because they're like, he'll blow us in. Boba Fett makes a joke like, they would recognize my face because he and all the clones are based off of his father, Jango Fett, and are clones of him, so they all have the same face. So it's a very recognizable face in the whole universe. So Mando and Mayfield, they steal a transport vehicle, which is hauling this rhydonium, which is a super explosive kind of chemical reactant thing. Mando fights off all these pirates that are attempting to blow up the shipment so that it doesn't fall in the Emperor's hands and they can't use it to attack them. This is an idea that Mayfield follows up with in the end. And once the transport enters the base, we see stormtroopers celebrating on the inside, and it was cool to see that from the other perspective because we're so used to, in this franchise, seeing the rebellion celebrations of everybody cheering and hugging each other. Woohoo, we saved the day! As he's trying to get to the computer, Mayfield sees a former officer of his when he was an Imperial, Valen Hess, and he's like, I can't go in there. So Mando has to take his helmet off, go over to the computer, and get it scanned, and it's in front of all these different people who are seeing his face, and he's confronted by this Imperial officer, and Mayfield has come in and saved the day. He makes a reference to Office Space, the comedy from the 90s, and they get stuck in this conversation with this officer. They sit down on a table, and it's very tense because the guy is a dickhead, and this Valen Hess is played by the guy who was the Night King in Game of Thrones, Richard Brake. He brags that the rhydonium that they delivered will help the Empire do more devastation than they even did during Operation Cinder, a mission that Bill Burr was a part of, and they kind of talk about that, and he says that the Empire will be back on the rise now that they have that, and Bill Burr's kind of shaken and like emotional because he was a part of that big battle, which just devastated and killed a bunch of people, killed a bunch of his friends, and he's like, I can't let that happen again. And this whole tense scene reminded me of a Tarantino movie. It was like Inglourious Bastards when the Jews are in the floorboards. Christoph Waltz's character is like pacing upstairs drinking milk and stuff, and he knows that they're down there and they're just having this conversation with the people to try and hide him. It's like the other scene in Inglourious Bastards where they're in the basement and they're all playing cards with all the Nazi guys. It was just a very, very tense scene. And I saw a lot of people comparing it to it this week, but that was what I thought immediately as I saw it. But I was like, oh my God, this is tense. And then Bill Burr shoots the guy out of nowhere. And everybody that I watched it with like audibly gasped. My roommates were like, oh my God. And we saw a ton of Imperials in that base, so now they have to shoot their way out of there. And they like are ascending to the roof. Luckily, they have backup in Fennec Shan and Cara Dune, who are sniping from the like tree line outside, and they have to get to the roof so that Boba Fett can pick them up and they can make their escape. So they do. They jump on the Slave One, which is cool. And as they're flying away, Mayfield's like, hand me that cycler rifle, and he takes the gun. I think it's like the Tusken Raider gun Boba Fett had, and he aims down the sight and he shoots the rhydonium in one of the trucks, blows the base up. So he was like, I can't let that get in the Empire's hands and have them do the kind of devastation that they did back when I was with them, because it's just not right. And it harkens back to a quote that he had earlier where he was like, people got to do what they got to do to help them sleep at night. And that was something that he couldn't have on his conscience if he let that go. So as they're flying away, Boba Fett dispatches of 2 TIE fighters with the kind of sonic bomb that he had in Attack of the Clones, and just that noise that it makes is awesome. It's one of the best sound effects in all of Star Wars. It's just a crazy sound, and then it like the visual of it snapping across, and there's that blue like burst that like just shatters everything around it. It's just so impactful, and you're like, oh my god. And we love that sound in Attack the Clones, so again, my roommates and I were flipping out when we saw that scene. Cara Dune tells Mayfield that, hey, it's a shame that you died in the crash, and he's like, what? And he probably thought they were going to kill him, but she lets him go because of what he did to blow up the base and for his help, I guess, in return. They did a little bit of a quid pro quo where they let him go. They head off with the location of Moff Gideon's ship. So it's really teeing up the season finale well in the coming episode. And they're on a collision course with Moff Gideon to hopefully get our little green buddy back, Grogu. And the episode ends with Mando sending a transmission to Gideon. And he basically mirrors the conversation that they had at the end of the season finale of season 1, where he was like, you don't know what you got on your hands. He's super important to me, and I'm coming to get him, basically. And it's kind of like the scene from Taken, also, where he's like, I will find you, and I will kill you. He did a Liam Neeson a little bit. So I really like that, and I like that it was a callback to the conversation that they had in the previous episode, and that in the beginning, the replays that they show from previous episodes included that. So that was relevant, obviously, is why they put it in there. But that was a cool callback. And like I said, it really tees up well for the season finale, where I hope that our heroes encounter Moff Gideon again, whether they rescue Grogu or not. But this episode was great. I give a huge props to Bill Burr, who carried a lot of this episode on his shoulders. He was hysterical as always, but he showed a moral compass, empathy, and regret, which was great acting on his part. One of the best lines he had is he's questioning Mando on whether he can't show his face or he can't take off his helmet, because he takes off his helmet to put on another helmet. So he's like, is it just you can't go without a helmet? Is it just that you can't go without a helmet, or you can't show your face to anybody? Because he ends up doing both of those and breaking both of those rules within this very episode. He just kind of points out the silliness of that rule. And like I said, he has that line about people having to do what they have to do to sleep at night, which is a referendum on like his character and what we know and what we learned in this episode with his past, and also with Mando and his storyline, and a bunch of other characters too. Boba Fett, a lot in the series that we've seen. It's kind of an overarching message that is very applicable to everything we've seen and everything that is kind of transpiring in front of us with these characters that we've been lucky to see week to week. So I can't wait for the season finale and to see where that leads us, and if we get a conclusion to kind of this season to tap it off, and if they set up season 3 in an interesting way like they did at the end of season 1 for this current season. But that's my review for The Mandalorian, guys. The Believer. If you guys like the video, like I said in the beginning, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. Also, I'm pretty active in the comment section, so I will reply back to you as soon as I can, and we can talk about this week's episode, and I'm excited to hear what you guys thought. I will see you guys in the next video. May the Force be with you.